cool.
It was built by the people in Knightstown for about $19,000. They wanted a place to play basketball because the game was becoming so popular. But before they built this gym in 1921, they actually played their home basketball games in an attic above the drugstore downtown Knightstown. Now
Really?
it's part of the antique mall.
That's
I
awesome.
don't know if you've been downtown.
Not yet.
We just drove through.
Yeah, the antique mall there, the corner of that used to be the drugstore. And the attic is where they played the basketball games. And if you look at that rim and burlap sack in there, that came out of the gym above the drugstore.
Wow.
They didn't have basketball nets yet, so they just hung a burlap sack so you could tell it when the ball went through the rim. I went to the local blacksmith and had them forge the rim. So we decided to hang it in here. That's an original backboard from this gym.
Yeah, we seen. We just come from the Newcastle,
Oh man, with the
and it showed. Yeah, it showed that where they had the basket, the burlap sack with the bout cut out and everything.
So, at any rate, this was the high school gym here in Knightstown from 1921 until 1966. Then they built a new high school 2 blocks north of here, and this became the elementary gym. That's what it was in '85 when they filmed the movie. But they were getting ready. They were actually building 2 new elementary schools, so they were going to tear this down.
Oh, no way.
They didn't want it. They didn't think they needed it, and they hadn't taken very good care of it after it stopped being the high school gym. So I assume you noticed the old school building next door.
Yeah, the academy.
That was 1876, and there was actually an earlier building built in the 1830s on this same campus. They tore it down when they built that. So, anyway, that's on the National Register. So is this gym. It's on the National Register.
That and they added. When did they add this building? The other part of the school, the newer part?
The new part in the 1950s.
1950s.
And then in 1985, when they did the movie Hi There, that's the only part they were still using. Second through 5th grade. They were moving them out when they got the new elementary schools built. And the lady behind you there in the white blouse, she's one that really put on a fuss about saving that old school building and the gym. So we found a developer in Michigan that turned that school building into apartments. But they had no interest in saving the gym. They were still going to tear this gym down, use it for parking. Well, her son played in the last high school game in this gym in 1966. His name was Peggy Mayo.
Can I open this door?
Sure. That's another locker. You don't see it in the movie. Goes down the steps into another locker room. That's the new locker room built in 1936 when they added this lobby. So you don't see that in the movie, but we use it for basketball when we play games here.
Yeah, this
So anyway, she went on a campaign to sing hymns.
Really cool.
There she is at our banquet, in our 25th anniversary banquet. That's David Anspall on the right, who was the director, and that's Angelo Pizzo on the left. Everybody called him Andy, growing up in Bloomington.
He wrote the script.
Yeah, Angelo sounds more Hollywood.
Yeah, Angelo.
That's his real name. So anyway, she went on a campaign when she saw an Indianapolis paper. They were looking for gyms to be in this movie. And she thought, if we can get them to come here, maybe we can save this gym. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, they were going to use Waveland.
Yep, they were going to do the whole movie.
The whole movie, but they
started in these school buildings.
They wanted, and they didn't want them in there.
Yeah, they'd already signed the contract, and they couldn't wait.
Yeah, because the town and the school and the thing would have worked for everything.
Exactly.
Their loss.
I'm going to turn the movie on here.
Yeah, that's the Nineveh school where they filmed.
Yes, that's from the Nineveh school. That's a little piece of the brick. One of the guys who lived down there brought that up to us.
I think they tore that down in the 70s. It burnt down in the 70s.
Burnt down. A couple kids got in there a couple times.
I guess it was not too long right after that movie.
Yeah, well, the movie came out in '85.
I think it was like 86 is when they. Yeah.
It came out in '86. It was filmed here in '85,
Yeah.
so no video.
Now, is this the scoreboard from?
No, that's just scoreboard that was in this gym before you had to get some newer ones.
Did they actually just let them shoot? Hickory!
it wasn't easy to get them to come out here because they really wanted to stay over in Western Indiana.
Yeah, most of
You
the.
know, all the outdoor scenes are in New Richmond.
Yeah, New Richmond.
And the away games are in Lebanon and Brownsburg, and they wanted to stay.
Yeah, to stay in that area.
So it was really hard to get them to come out here, but that lady there was so persistent, and she just kept arguing with them.
I think it's perfect
haven't
though.
seen.
It fit the
They
school
walked in here
perfectly.
and changed their mind. They said, "Wow, this is perfect." Their eyes popped, and they said, "This is perfect." But she's the one that had to get them, talk them into coming here, and her argument was, "How do you know you don't want to use our gym? You haven't seen it."
Yeah.
So, and they were nice folks. They finally decided, you know, this lady's not going to leave us alone until we look.
Give it a look at least.
They said, "Well, just go look, and then we can tell her we saw your gym, man, but sorry." Well, they changed their mind when they got here.
Yeah.
And yeah, so.
Kind of looks like Worthington's gym with the.
I'm going to still try to get that movie started, if you don't mind.
That's fine. I'm just.
Where am I stepping?
I'll stay out of their way. This is the Hoosier gym where they filmed the movie Hoosiers. These actual pictures from the movie. Now there's the scoreboard. So, scores box. Built in 1921. That's the crank down the old backboard. Look at these heaters. Yeah, because in the movie it was 50, 51 instead of 54.
See the scoreboard up there? That's a fair play, just like the one in the movie, only it's a different color, and it's not an exact replica.
Yeah.
It came from a gym in Nebraska that they tore down, and one of our volunteers here, one of our board members, actually coached basketball in Nebraska, even though he's from Indiana. And he knew this guy.
That's cool.
So he donated it to the gym. It works just fine.
Yeah.
It lights up.
Really?
Yeah, the clock works. The fair play people came and put in bulbs. It's just right. So we'll use it for warm-up of regular basketball games. And the clock around the perimeter of the clock are little red lights. So the countdown, the last minute of each corner, of each quarter, the lights go off one at a time as it counts down the last minute.
Yeah,
this basket up there. That was hung up there by the Spalding Sporting Good people. They had a photo shoot in here before the pandemic hit. They were going to have this big advertising campaign because they said it was the 125th anniversary of Spalding designing the first basketball at the request of Dr. Naismith. He knew Mr. Spalding, who was making baseballs and soccer balls. Yeah, so he went to Mr. Spalding and said, "Hey, can you design a ball for me for my new game?" And there's a replica out there in the display case you'll have to look at.
Yeah.
They made 40 replicas for their big campaign, advertising campaign. It all got canceled because of the pandemic. They were going to do it during the NCAA tournament, and that's the year it got canceled. This floor was laid over the original floor in 1936, and that's when they added that lobby. It's also when they bricked the outside of the building and put in these permanent bleachers.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that people really liked was the permanent bleachers.
Yeah.
They liked the wainscoting, they liked the rafters, the lattice work, and they loved the fact that there was windows around the floor.
Yeah, this like
somebody